Hello everyone. Welcome back to English Mastery Hub. If you're learning English and want to speak more naturally, this lesson is for you. Many learners focus on vocabulary and grammar, but struggle with sounding natural in conversations. You may find yourself speaking English correctly, yet something still feels unnatural: the rhythm, pronunciation, or fluency. In today's lesson, we'll explore how to make your English sound more natural. You'll learn the key differences between textbook English and natural spoken English, how stress, intonation, and connected speech improve fluency, practical exercises to help you develop a more natural way of speaking. By the end of this lesson, you'll have clear strategies to apply immediately. Let's get started. Speaking English fluently is not just about knowing words and grammar. It is also about how you say them. Many English learners can write and read well, but when they speak, something does not sound natural. Maybe their words sound too slow, too fast, or too separate. Maybe their tone is too flat, and they do not use stress in the right places. These small things can make English sound unnatural. When you speak naturally, people understand you more easily. This is very important in daily life. Imagine you are ordering food in a restaurant, asking for directions, or having a conversation with a friend. If your speech sounds natural, communication is smooth. The listener does not need to ask you to repeat. They can understand you quickly. Speaking naturally also helps you feel more confident. When you know your English sounds good, you will not feel nervous when talking. You will not be afraid of making mistakes. You will enjoy conversations and speak more freely. This is important in both personal and professional life. In job interviews, meetings, and presentations, natural speech makes you sound more professional and capable. Another reason to speak naturally is to connect better with native speakers. If your English sounds unnatural, it may be difficult to make friends and join conversations. Sometimes native speakers use informal words, contractions, and connected speech. If you only use very formal English from textbooks, conversations may feel strange. When you learn to speak naturally, it becomes easier to understand and respond to native speakers. The good news is that you do not need a perfect accent to sound natural. Many English learners think they must sound like a native speaker, but this is not true. English is spoken all over the world, and many people have different accents. A small accent is not a problem. The most important thing is that your speech is clear, smooth, and natural. To sound more natural, you can make small changes in pronunciation, rhythm, and word usage. One way to do this is by listening carefully to native speakers. Notice how they stress some words and connect others together. Try to copy this in your speech. Another way is to practice speaking every day. You can record yourself, listen to how you sound, and compare it with native speakers. You can also practice with a friend or a teacher. The more you practice, the more natural your speech will become. Many learners also find it helpful to watch English movies, TV shows, and YouTube videos. These help you hear real English, not just textbook English. Try repeating phrases the same way native speakers say them. This is called shadowing, and it is a great way to improve natural speech. Another simple tip is to use contractions and informal expressions. For example, instead of saying, "I am going to the store," you can say, "I'm gonna go to the store." Instead of, "What are you doing?" Component placement. Many native speakers say, "What you doing?" Learning these small changes will help you sound more natural in everyday conversations. Reading aloud is also a great way to improve. Choose a short passage, read it aloud, and focus on making your speech smooth. Pay attention to your intonation and rhythm. You can also read along with an audiobook to match the native speaker's pronunciation. Finally, do not be afraid to make mistakes. Many English learners worry too much about being perfect, but making mistakes is part of learning. The more you speak, the better you will become. Speaking naturally takes time and practice, but it is not impossible. With daily effort, you will see improvement. Keep listening, keep practicing, and soon, your English will sound much more natural. Many English learners feel frustrated when they speak. They study grammar and vocabulary, but their English still sounds unnatural. Maybe people ask them to repeat, or conversations feel difficult. Why does this happen? There are a few common reasons why English learners sound unnatural. If you understand these problems, you can fix them and speak more smoothly. One common problem is pronouncing each word separately. In many languages, people say words clearly and separately. But in English, words often connect. For example, instead of saying, "What are you doing?" component placement native speakers say, "What you doing?" Instead of "I am going to eat," they say, "I'm gonna eat." This linking makes English sound more natural. Another problem is ignoring stress and intonation. Stress means making some words stronger. Intonation means your voice goes up and down. If you speak in a flat tone, your English will sound robotic. For example, when asking a question, native speakers usually raise their voice at the end. "Are you coming?" If you do not change your tone, it can sound strange or even rude. Some learners sound unnatural because they use very formal textbook phrases. In English class, you learn polite and correct sentences. But in real life, people speak differently. For example, in a textbook, you might learn to say, "Hello, how do you do?" But in real life, people say, "Hey, how's it going?" or "What's up?" Another example is textbook English. "May I please have a cup of coffee?" Natural English. "Can I get a coffee?" Both sentences are correct, but the second one sounds more natural. If you only use formal English, conversations may feel unnatural. Many learners also speak too slowly and carefully. They want to avoid mistakes, so they think a lot before speaking. But native speakers talk fast and naturally. If you pause too much, your speech will not flow smoothly. It is okay to make small mistakes. The important thing is to keep speaking and practicing. Another reason English learners sound unnatural is using the wrong rhythm. Every language has its own rhythm. English has a special pattern of strong and weak words. For example, in the sentence, "I want to go to the park," native speakers stress the important words, "I want to go to the park." Other words are said quickly. If you say every word slowly and equally, it will sound strange. Some learners also translate directly from their first language, but English has different sentence structures and expressions. For example, in some languages you say, "She has 30 years," but in English we say, "She is 30 years old." If you translate everything, your sentences may sound unnatural. Another mistake is using the wrong facial expressions and body language. In English, people use a lot of gestures, smiles, and expressions when they speak. If your face is too serious or your hands do not move, your English might feel less natural. Try watching native speakers and copying their expressions. Now that you understand these problems, you can start fixing them. The first step to speaking naturally is listening carefully. Watch movies, listen to podcasts, and notice how native speakers talk. Try to copy their rhythm, stress, and expressions. Another great tip is shadowing. This means listening to a sentence and repeating it immediately. Try to match the speed, tone, and pronunciation of the speaker. You can do this with YouTube videos, audiobooks, or podcasts. You can also record yourself speaking. Listen to your voice and compare it with native speakers. Are you stressing the right words? Are you linking words together? This will help you find areas to improve. Practicing with a language partner is also very helpful. Find a friend or tutor and have natural conversations. The more you speak, the more confident you will become. Another good strategy is using contractions and common phrases. Instead of "I do not know," say "I don't know." Instead of "let us go," say "let's go." These small changes make your English sound more natural. Finally, do not be afraid to make mistakes. Many learners are too worried about being perfect. But the best way to improve is to practice every day. Even if you make mistakes, keep going. Over time, your speech will become smoother and more natural. Speaking English naturally takes time, but it is possible. Listen, practice, and have fun with it. Soon you will notice a big improvement in the way you speak. English learners often feel that their speech sounds unnatural. They may know many words and grammar rules, but their spoken English still doesn't flow smoothly. The good news is that small changes can make a big difference. By practicing the right techniques, you can sound more natural and confident. Here are some key strategies to help you improve. One important skill is understanding the rhythm of English. English has a special pattern of stress and intonation. Some words are strong, while others are weak. This helps speech sound smooth and natural. For example, a beginner might say, "I want to go to the store." Each word is said equally. But a native speaker would say, "I want to go to the store." The key words wanna and store are stressed, and the other words are shorter. If you say each word separately, your speech may sound unnatural. But if you focus on stress and rhythm, your English will flow better. How can you practice? Listen carefully to native speakers in movies, TV shows, or podcasts. Pay attention to which words they stress and which words are softer. Try repeating sentences and copying the rhythm. Another useful technique is linking words together. In natural English, words do not sound separate. Instead, they connect smoothly. For example, "What are you doing?" becomes "What you doing?" "Did you eat?" becomes "Do you eat?" "I don't know" becomes "I don't know." If you pronounce every word separately, it will sound too slow and robotic. But if you link words together, your speech will sound more natural. How can you practice? Take short sentences and practice saying them quickly. Try to connect words naturally without stopping. Record yourself and listen to how your words flow. Another way to sound more natural is using contractions and reductions. Native speakers often shorten words in casual speech. For example, "I am going to" becomes "I'm gonna," "let me help you" becomes "let me help ya," "do you want to" becomes "do you wanna." If you always use full words, your speech may sound too formal, but contractions make your speech sound more relaxed and natural. How can you practice? Start using contractions in everyday speech. Instead of saying, "I am going to study," say, "I'm gonna study." Try listening to songs or conversations and notice how words are shortened. A powerful method for improving fluency is the imitation technique. This means listening to a native speaker and repeating exactly what they say. How can you practice? Find a short video or audio clip with native English speakers. Listen carefully to their pronunciation, stress, and rhythm. Pause and repeat after them, trying to copy their tone and speed. Keep practicing until it feels natural. This method trains your ears and mouth to produce English sounds more naturally. It also helps you develop confidence when speaking. Speaking naturally takes time and practice, but small improvements can make a big difference. By focusing on rhythm, link-in words, contractions, and imitation, you can start sounding more like a native speaker. Keep practicing every day, and soon your English will feel smoother and more natural. To help you improve your natural speech, here are some simple and practical exercises. These exercises will help you practice what you have learned and make your speaking sound more like a native speaker. The shadowing exercise is a great way to improve your speaking skills. In this exercise, you listen to a native speaker and repeat exactly what they say. Try to mimic their tone, speed, and rhythm. This will help you sound more natural when you speak. How to do it? Find a short video or audio clip of a native speaker. Listen carefully to how they speak. Pause the video or audio after every sentence and repeat exactly what they said. Try to copy their pronunciation, intonation, how their voice rises and falls, and rhythm. Keep practicing every day to improve your fluency. Listening to English every day will help you develop an ear for how native speakers talk. You can listen to podcasts, news, audiobooks, or even songs in English. By hearing English regularly, you will get used to the natural flow and rhythm of speech. How to do it? Choose a topic you enjoy, like news, stories, or music. Listen to a podcast or an audiobook in English every day for at least 15 to 30 minutes. Try to focus on how the words are connected, the tone of the speaker, and how they stress certain words. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. The goal is to get used to the sounds and patterns of English. Recording yourself speaking English every day is a great way to track your progress and improve your pronunciation. This exercise helps you listen to yourself and find areas where you can get better. How to do it? Pick a topic or question to talk about. It can be as simple as describing your day or talking about your favorite movie. Record yourself speaking for a few minutes. Try to speak clearly and use the new things you've learned about natural speech. Listen to your recording and compare it to a native speaker. Are you using contractions, linking sounds, and natural rhythm? Do you sound confident and relaxed? Record yourself every day or every week and listen to how your speech improves over time. Watching movies and TV shows in English is a fun way to practice listening and speaking. You can use subtitles to help you understand the words at first, then try to repeat phrases without them. This will help you practice natural speech and improve your listening skills. How to do it? Choose a movie or TV show in English that you enjoy. Make sure it has subtitles in English. First, watch the movie with the subtitles to understand the words and phrases. After watching, try watching it again without subtitles. This time, pay attention to how the characters speak. How do they link words? How do they use contractions? How do they stress certain words? Pause the movie and repeat phrases exactly as you hear them. Try to copy the actor's tone and rhythm. This method is fun because you can learn English while enjoying your favorite shows. Another great exercise is to repeat phrases or sentences you hear from native speakers. This will help you improve your pronunciation and sound more natural. How to do it. Find a video or audio clip with clear, slow speech from a native speaker. Listen carefully to the pronunciation, rhythm, and stress. Pause and repeat each sentence after the speaker. Focus on mimicking the speaker's tone and rhythm. Repeat this exercise several times until it feels natural. Speaking with a language partner or tutor is one of the best ways to improve your natural speech. It allows you to practice speaking English in real conversations, and you can get immediate feedback. How to do it. Find a language partner or hire a tutor who is a native English speaker. Set up regular conversations to practice speaking. During conversations, try to use contractions, link words, and speak naturally. Ask your partner or tutor to correct your mistakes and give you tips on how to sound more natural. Recording your voice regularly is a useful way to track your progress and find areas for improvement. By comparing your recordings over time, you can see how much your pronunciation and natural speech have improved. How to do it. Record yourself speaking on a regular basis. Compare your voice to a native speaker's voice. Pay attention to how you sound. Do you sound more natural? Are you using the right rhythm, stress, and linking sounds? Focus on areas that need improvement and keep practicing until you feel more confident. Sometimes, speaking too fast can make you sound less natural. It's important to speak at a comfortable speed so that your words are clear. Slow down a little and focus on pronouncing words clearly, especially when you're practicing new speech patterns. How to do it. When speaking, slow down a bit and make sure your words are clear. Focus on saying each word correctly, especially the stressed words in a sentence. As you get better, you can increase your speed without losing clarity. Tongue twisters are fun and help you practice your pronunciation. They challenge you to speak quickly and clearly, which can improve your fluency. How to do it. Look for English tongue twisters online. Try saying them slowly at first, then gradually increase your speed as you get better. Repeat the tongue twisters until you can say them clearly and quickly. By doing these exercises regularly, you will improve your natural speech and become more confident in speaking English. Remember, the key to sounding natural is practice. The more you practice, the better you will become. Stay patient and keep working on your skills every day. You'll be amazed at how quickly your speech improves. Many English learners face challenges when speaking the language. It's completely normal to have difficulties at first, but with practice and the right mindset, you can overcome these challenges. Let's look at some common speaking challenges and how to deal with them in a simple way. One of the most common challenges is the fear of making mistakes. Many learners worry that they will say something wrong or sound silly. This fear can stop them from speaking altogether. But the truth is, making mistakes is a natural part of learning any language. Every time you make a mistake, you are actually learning and improving. Instead of worrying about mistakes, focus on improving your skills. The more you speak, the better you will become. Even native speakers make mistakes, and they just keep going. It's important to be patient with yourself and not let fear stop you from practicing. Remember, mistakes help you grow. If you are afraid of making mistakes, try this. Give yourself permission to make mistakes. It's okay to not be perfect. Keep speaking, even if you're unsure. Celebrate small improvements. The more you practice, the more confident you will become. Another challenge many learners face is understanding fast English. When listening to native speakers or watching movies, the speech can sometimes be too fast. This can make it hard to follow the conversation or understand what is being said. If you don't understand fast English, don't worry. It's normal to struggle with fast speech when you are learning. The good news is that you can improve your listening skills by starting slow and gradually increasing the speed as you get better. Here's what you can do. Start with slower content, like podcasts or videos that speak at a slower pace. Focus on listening to clear, simple sentences. As you get more comfortable, try listening to faster content. Don't worry if you don't understand everything at first. Just keep practicing, and over time, you will be able to understand faster speech. The next challenge is not knowing what to say during conversations. Many learners freeze up because they don't know how to respond or they don't have the right words. This can make you feel stuck and not confident when speaking. To solve this, it helps to learn and practice common phrases. These are sentences that you can use in everyday situations. By practicing these phrases, you will always have something to say, even if you don't know the exact words in the moment. Here's how you can get better at speaking. Practice common phrases for greetings, asking for help, or making small talk. Don't worry about translating from your native language. Instead, try to think directly in English. This will make it easier to speak without getting stuck. The more you practice these phrases, the easier it will be to respond quickly in conversations. Sometimes learners feel like they don't have enough vocabulary to express themselves. They may feel limited because they can't find the right word. This is a normal part of learning. The more words you learn, the easier it will be to express your thoughts clearly. If you don't know the exact word, try using simpler words or describe what you mean. For example, if you don't know the word for refrigerator, you can say, the thing where you keep food cold. This helps you communicate, even if you don't know the exact word. Here's what you can do. Learn and use new vocabulary every day. If you forget a word, try to explain it with simpler words. Don't be afraid to ask for help if you don't know a word. Native speakers will usually understand and help you. Another common challenge is when you feel nervous or anxious while speaking. Many learners feel nervous when they are speaking to native speakers or in front of a group. This is completely normal, but it can make speaking harder. To overcome nervousness, it helps to practice speaking in a relaxed environment first. You can practice with a friend, a language partner, or even by recording yourself. The more you practice, the more comfortable you will feel. Here's how to deal with nervousness. Practice speaking English every day, even if it's just a few minutes. Talk to yourself in English to get used to the sounds of the language. Find a supportive language partner who can help you feel confident. Take deep breaths before speaking to relax. It's also common for learners to struggle with speaking in full sentences. Sometimes, you might only say a few words or short phrases instead of talking in complete thoughts. This can make it harder to communicate clearly. To fix this, practice speaking in full sentences. When you learn new vocabulary or phrases, try to use them in complete sentences. This will help you feel more confident when you speak. Here's what you can do. When you learn a new word, practice using it in a full sentence. Try to speak in complete thoughts, not just short phrases. The more you practice speaking in sentences, the more natural it will become. One of the biggest challenges is simply not speaking enough. Many learners don't practice speaking enough because they are afraid of making mistakes or they feel shy. But the only way to get better at speaking is to practice as much as possible. Here's how to practice speaking. Find a language partner or tutor who you can speak with regularly. Practice speaking aloud every day, even if it's just a few sentences. Don't wait for the perfect moment to speak. Just start practicing now. It's also important to remember that speaking is a skill that gets better with time. You won't become fluent overnight, but with regular practice, you will improve. Be patient with yourself and keep going. Here's what you can do. Set small, realistic goals for your speaking practice. Celebrate your progress, even if it's just a little improvement. Keep practicing every day and don't give up. The key to overcoming these common challenges is to keep practicing and stay positive. Don't let fear, nervousness, or mistakes stop you. Focus on making progress, not on being perfect. The more you speak, the better you will become. Keep practicing, and soon you'll feel more confident and natural when speaking English. Speaking English naturally doesn't require a perfect accent. It's about mastering the flow, rhythm, and confidence in your speech. When you speak naturally, your conversation becomes easier and more enjoyable, both for you and for your listeners. To recap, here's what you should focus on to speak more naturally in English. Master stress and intonation. Stress certain words in a sentence to give it rhythm and life. This will help make your speech sound more natural and engaging. Link words together for smooth speech. In natural English, words are connected and flow together. Practice linking words to sound more fluid. Use contractions and real-life phrases. Native speakers often use contractions and casual phrases. Use these to sound more like a native speaker. Imitate native speakers through shadowing. Mimic the way native speakers talk, focusing on how they pronounce words, their rhythm, and tone. Practice speaking every day. Consistent practice is key to improving your fluency. Even if it's just for 5 minutes a day, practicing daily makes a big difference. Final challenge for you. Here's a simple challenge to help you practice speaking naturally. Choose a short phrase from a native speaker. Listen carefully to how they say it. Repeat the phrase exactly the same way. Keep practicing until it feels natural and smooth. Take the challenge and let me know in the comments. What's your biggest challenge in speaking naturally? If you found this lesson helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our English learning tips. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and I'll see you in the next video.